today's video, you will join us on a weekly adventure through the western side of the island and see what it has to offer. From the best beaches in the world, adventures from the mountain peaks, incredible towns and cities. This is what Crete is all about. We started our adventure on the island with a trip to the Monastery of Arkadi and Rethymno. But on the way there, we stopped by a nice lake, Lake Kornos. So, on the way to Rethymno, there is actually a very nice lake called Lake Korma. And actually it's a very nice spot for like a small stop to enjoy the lake. It was now time to get to one of the main points of the day, the Monastery of Arkadi. Welcome to the Monastery of Arkadi, one of the must-see here in Crete. And right here behind us is the 16th century church. First thing we did was go into the 16th century church.
So this is bullet tree from during the invasion of the monastery, and you can see here the piece of the bullet.
In this monastery there is actually more to see than just the church itself. There is also a museum where you can learn about the history of this monastery, its people and its life. And the history of never giving up.
So the whole place with this monastery is very beautiful, it's very photogenic. If you're wondering if it's worth to be here, to come here, it's totally worth it.
The monastery played an active role in the Cretan resistance of Ottoman rule during the Cretan Revolt of 1866.
Follow the river to the edge of the sea. I kissed the water and it made me complete like this one.
Over 900 Greeks, mostly women and children, found refuge in the monastery. After 3 days of battle, the Christians blew up barrels of gunpowder. They chose to sacrifice themselves rather than surrender.
It's the only way. It's the only way. Broken hearts can love again. Over they go. Over they go.
And the ticket price to the Arkadi monastery is €3. From the monastery, we headed back down towards the sea to Rethymno. So right now we are in Rethymno and we just got here and our mind has been blown away how beautiful it is. It's amazing.
Never leaving our bed.
As we took walk along the beach, the whole coast is amazing, and the mountains in the background, the whole scenery looks amazing, just perfect.
Like that, like that. I like that. We laugh till we cry, keep our love intact, take a ride, turn them back so we can say.
Rethymno is definitely a very beautiful city. Even if you're not based here, you definitely should visit this Greek town. You can get lost in many of its charming narrow alleyways with local shops and restaurants. There's one question that we have to answer today. Is the beach really pink? Just for your knowledge, we're in May, so we're gonna see if it really is pink.
14 hours and 14 days, yeah, it feels the same when I'm not with you.
Genuine first reaction, for me at least, it looks really cool that it's very like flat. Like I'm seeing people like all the way somewhere right there. As you can see, like they're all the way somewhere there, walking in the water. Like, but
For me, I expected a pink, really pink beach and sand.
a little bit more, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you want it the way I want it? 'Cause I still wonder if we'll make it through. Tell me, do you want me right now? I don't wanna wait to find out. I need you to love me lights out tonight.
So, is the Elafonisi Beach actually this pink that you might have seen on internet? To answer your question, in May, not as much, but you still can see slight shadows or slight shades of pink, reddish color.
Don't waste your breath, 'cause you know what I'm feeling. Midnight's closing in, and I won't wait for you. Don't think about it twice, we're way past second guessing. And I want you to know, yeah, shut your mouth and kiss me in the parking lot, in the backseat. Don't dare to stop now. Just close your eyes and kiss me like you mean it. You're a bad dream, but I'm into it now.
Yes, it's literally, you know, sand dunes all the way here. I'm like way far in the distance. There's Evie right there, barely having my ankles in the water. It's really cool, and it's very shallow everywhere here.
So one of the super cool things about this beach is that you can find here many beautiful seashells. Mine. And they are coming back with me to Poland.
And just like that, our second day on Crete has come to an end. It was now time to head back to Chania through a beautiful gorge. Hey guys, which way to Chania? This adventure started at 6:55 a.m. when we left Chania and started our journey to the top of the mountains. On the way there, I just had to stop and take out my drone. The views were incredible, and while walking with my drone in hand, the only thing going through my mind was, I truly feel alive. These are the moments that we live for. Throughout this video, you're gonna hear us say George instead of Gorge. This is a mistake on my part, and we both did say it throughout the whole day. So if you hear us say George, we meant to say Gorge. So we've made it to the top. We are at
Samaria, George.
and it's so beautiful right here. And a huge trek in front of us,
16 kilometers ahead of us.
all the way to the beach. So we're going from like the very high mountains all the way to the bottom.
Let's do it.
And the views so far are beautiful.
They are just breathtaking and mesmerizing. So what is cool about this hike is that you are constantly just going down. You do not have to go up. As you are hiking, you can find a little village of the pebbles.
Made it to the stream. We can hear it, we can see it right here. Stream, Evie, and people. This is also the place where our first meeting with the stream was, as well as the first time crossing it. We had no idea what was ahead of us. So, we are
Halfway to our destination, and we made 6.5 kilometers.
It's really beautiful here, and you know, just being here in the nature, really like you disconnect and it feels so good. So, let's go further. Close to the halfway down is an old village of Samaria. So right now we are actually by the old Samaria village. Good that I have Evie to correct me. Everything still intact, and then a lot of people here. A resting spot and everything, so it's very cool to see. It's incredible to think that once there was a small village in the middle of this landscape. And here is the moment we started to panic a little bit. According to our calculations, we were on time, but we were not sure of it. Every now and then we just checked the time, and with no connection to the internet or GPS, we only had the small signs after each kilometer. On one hand, we had this beautiful landscape, on another, the adrenaline of getting to the end on time, since we need to get on the boat to get back. So pretty much the last part of the hike is going through the valley by this stream that I fortunately had the chance to fall into for a little bit with my feet, and we're going to the end, but it's the beautiful valley here.
And the scale of the valley is just astonishing. It's so huge that you cannot even imagine how small we are here.
And we even had a small scary incident where we heard a loud bang, only to hear it coming towards us like a missile and landing in the water beside us. A rock has fallen down the cliff. And imagine us being in a tiny gorge, barely enough space to walk because of the water beside us, and seeing and hearing this happen. So we're finally by the Iron Gates, where two different mountains pretty much meet, and it's right here. It doesn't look as good on camera, but it's beautiful. So we finally got to the end, national park, or the pathway, the way we were going, or hike.
So at the end you can buy fresh oranges for €3, but this is so tasty after those 13 kilometers.
From the end of the national park we walked on for another 3 kilometers, but these were on a paved road, all the way to the village of Agia, Roumeli. From there we had a ferry to a small village of Agia. From where we had the bus to where this trek begins, the top of the mountains. This is definitely one of the must-see on Crete, and definitely for us a story to remember. So today we're gonna be exploring the well-known town of Chania.
And behind us is iconic Old Venetian harbor.
So it's time to explore Chania.
Let's do this.
You make some kind of fire within me. It's almost like it's burning through my skin. Make myself feel warmer when you're near. Whenever you're near, come close. 'Cause I wanna be by your side. Wanna be by your side. Come close. Get under my skin. Give me a piece of your mind.
So you can get here a 360-degree overview of the whole town, including a beautiful view on the mountains.
I'll show you where it is. It's right behind us, right there. Right here.
So now let's explore the charming corners of Chania.
So, what will you find in the alleyways of Chania? First off, you're gonna find many beautiful, authentic restaurants. Also many different stores, shops, gift shops, and like, you know, handmade crafts from the local people.
These guys all over my heart. I wish we didn't mess this up. If only we could be true love. Honestly believe in us, in us.
So along the Venetian harbor,
There are many restaurants where you can taste Greek cuisine with a beautiful sea view.
Tell me that you're not gonna break my heart. Tell me that you're not gonna run me ragged. Tell me that you're always gonna be by my side.
so from this point you can actually see the whole Chania, and it's very cool because we're in the town center. And now we're finally entering.
The path to the lighthouse.
I don't care how. I would do anything. I need to talk to you somehow. I need you now.
And now we are on the way to the lighthouse here in Chania. It's actually in front of the city, and it's a nice lookout to the city. It's kind of cool because you kind of have this viewpoint from the sea to the city. It's really cool. I can get it with a drone, but people can get it from just walking here, which is really, really cool.
I'll be better when I'm not. I'm here. I know we used to have it all. No, I'm not. I'm here. Wish I could have broke this fall. I need you now. I don't care how. I would do anything. I need to talk to you somehow. I need you now.
So we have made it to,
The lighthouse.
and it's right here. This is pretty much where our adventure in Chania is gonna end. Because Chania was the place we stayed in, we would often find ourselves eating in this city. From our experience, we can highly recommend Rethymno for the local food at a great price. But that is not all. If you're in Chania, there is one more thing that you should see. Today, we are by
The Holy Trinity and in Greek, Agia Triada Monastery.
which is actually an active 17th century Byzantine monastery. This monastery is considered as one of the most famous and the most beautiful on the island. The name of the monastery, Agia Triada, means Holy Trinity. Here you will find a museum as well as a place to buy wine and olive oil that the monks produce. It's definitely a place worth visiting. Today we're going to one of the better beaches here.
Which is Preveli Beach.
I've been making mistakes, trying to cure a heartbreak, but it's all in vain. All up in my feelings, staring at the ceiling, trying to keep my heart
It
on.
looks like paradise.
It is paradise.
So back and forth lately, keeping you waiting. Please forgive my bipolar heart, bipolar heart, bipolar heart. Every little thing is confusing me, almost like the pain is amusing me. Well, am I wrong or right? Should I fight or flight? Sometimes I wonder if I'll even make it through the night. Cause I hold you tighter when you let go, not change my mind when you get too close. If we light this fire, will it go cold? Go cold. Please forgive my bipolar heart, baby, no matter.
So welcome to paradise.
I've been making mistakes, trying to cure a heartbreak, but it's all in vain.
So this place is beautiful.
This tropical forest that leads about 1 kilometer is so mesmerizing.
Can't save me, save me. So back and forth lately, keeping you waiting. Please forgive my bipolar heart, bipolar heart, bipolar heart.
And after the trek,
We are back on the beach.
it is a beautiful beach that is disconnected by the river flow all the way to the sea. When we got here it was pretty much no wind at all, static, and now it's really windy, so we need to get to the sun.
Because right now it's so cold in the shade.
Bipolar heart, bipolar heart, bipolar heart. If I could turn back time, could I make things right? If I could turn back time, could I make things right? Oh, if I could turn back time, could I make things right? Wish I never let you go. If I could turn back time, could I make things right? Wish I never let you go. I'm ready to let you go.
So this is gonna be the end of our adventure here in Preveli.
So would you recommend it?
Definitely yes. And from here, the only thing left for us was the way back to the parking on the top, as well as a beautiful drive through the gorges and mountains. So according to some sources, Balos is one of the best beaches in the world.
And today we're gonna see if it's true.
Keep your head down.
Before we can begin talking about the Balos Beach, we have to talk about the way to the Balos parking. It is well known because most, if not all, of the car rental places will not include this road into their insurance. And the reason for that is it is very bumpy. There's a lot of sharp rocks and many goats.
As you can see, here we have visitors resting area and we have already one visitor. This is the special guest.
It's on my tongue, feel your heartbeat stutter in slow-mo. Breathe in, let go. Feel your heartbeat stutter in slow-mo. Listen, let go. Feel your heartbeat stutter in slow-mo.
This sand here is so good on your feet. It's so like clear, there's not too many rocks.
So shallow that you can just go through the whole lagoon.
Keep your head up. 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 I fell in too deep, like I'm 10 tons trying to float. I hold my head above the water, pressure building up in my throat. I know.
So on the beach you can find many seashells and they are really beautiful.
There is one caveat. You have to be here earlier.
Yes, because there are many tourists and also about the noon there comes a ferry with many tourists.
So we have to answer one question.
Is this beach actually one of the best in the world?
We think yes, but it will change depending on the season.
Head up. If you know that you're true, keep your head up. Your head up. Keep your head up. Know the odds down, keep the nose down. Keep your head up.
It was time to go through the infamous road once again and go back to Chania. And just like that, the end of the week on Crete has come. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.